Most footballers are remembered due to the records they broke and the trophies they won. But what about Jay-Jay Okocha? He didn't win a single league title in his career, but he is still celebrated to this day. Why is that? Well, he was good. So good in fact, they named him twice. He was a mentor to Ronaldinho, an idol to Mesut Ozil, and an inspiration to both Ronaldos. The impact he left on the future generations was much bigger than any trophy he could have won. Okocha's story began on the streets of Enugu, Nigeria, where he learnt the game without the confines of an academy setup. I wasn't taught how to play football. I just went out there and started playing because I loved the game. We used to play with any round thing we could find, and whenever we did manage to find a ball, it was a bonus. As he got older, his natural gifts would earn him a shock move to Germany.
It was a coincidence because I just finished high school and I signed for a local club and then got an opportunity to go to Germany, to visit Germany. My senior brother got the visa for me and the ticket. So it was like a gift, and he gave me his friend's address. So when I got to Germany, his friend used to play for a third division club, Borussia Dortmund. So I went to training with them. I saw the way they were playing and I asked if I could join in because I felt I could get along, you know. So the manager said, yeah, you can join in. And after the training, he asked me if I could come back the next day. I said yes. So he kept me for 2 weeks, and after that, you know, he offered me a contract.
Fast forward a year and the emerging midfielder made the step up to the Bundesliga with a move to Eintracht Frankfurt. He would make over 100 appearances for the club, providing 43 goal contributions, the most iconic of which would be when he took legendary keeper Oliver Kahn and the rest of the Karlsruhe defence to the cleaners. It was during this time he wore the green of the Super Eagles for the first time, making his debut in 1993 and being part of the Nigeria squad that went to the World Cup and won the Africa Cup of Nations in 1994. 2 years later, he would claim another medal for his country, winning Olympic gold at the Atlanta Games as they overcame Brazil in the semi-finals, before coming back 2-0 down to 3-2 up against Argentina in the final. It was during this tournament that he had an influence on the Brazilian Ronaldo.
You've got a lot of different tricks. One of the ones that you use where you roll the ball with one foot and then step over with the other foot, is that one that you've done since you were a kid?
Yes, I think I created that one because
really?
It's my move, and I can tell you exactly when Ronaldo picked it up from
Really?
me.
Really?
It was during the Olympic Games.
In 96?
1996.
Really?
I did it against Brazil.
Did you?
Yeah, and that was when
Yes,
he
because
saw
probably
it.
first time I saw Ronaldo do it was the season after.
Yeah, and then ever since he has been doing it as well.
From one Ronaldo to another, he was a skill move pioneer. His next stop would be Fenerbahce for €3.5 million as Frankfurt got relegated, and yet again, he won the crowd over instantly. The Nigerian would terrorise defences across Turkey in his red boots, and would become known as a set-piece specialist, providing 51 goal contributions in only 77 appearances. His incredible output for Fenerbahce, combined with his performance at the 1998 World Cup, being named to the 22-man All-Star squad, had Paris Saint-Germain ready to bring him to France on a permanent basis. They spent €12.4 million on him, making him the most expensive African player at the time. Despite their spending, PSG were far from the billionaire-backed behemoth they have since become, but the Nigerian found himself amongst a quality side during the late 90s and early 2000s. His teammates included names such as Maurizio Pochettino, Mikel Arteta, Nicolas Anelka, and Ronaldinho. The Brazilian in particular is believed to have benefited from his period alongside Okocha. Their ideologies intertwined as two footballers whose joy from playing the game never left them. He would turn out 113 times for PSG over 4 years, providing 29 goal contributions and captivating the Parisian fans. Unfortunately, he only managed to win one French Super Cup. Internationally, Okocha joined the Super Eagles in the 2000 African Cup of Nations, in which he scored 3 goals as Nigeria went all the way to the final against Cameroon. Okocha scored the equaliser to tie the game 2-2, before losing in the penalty shootout at the end of extra time. He would go on to captain Nigeria in the following AFCONs in 2002, 2004 and 2006, finishing all 3 tournaments in 3rd place and winning the Golden Boot with 4 goals in 2004. His last World Cup for his country would be in 2002, coinciding with the end of his time in Paris. At 28 years old and in his prime, Okocha ended up at the most unlikely of destinations.
You should be at somewhere like Real Madrid, not Bolton Wanderers.
Well, I don't know. Anywhere I find myself, I try to give my best. I try to show that I worth my wages, and I'm glad that I'm doing it here.
Bolton Wanderers, a team that had survived relegation from the Premier League by the narrowest of margins in the previous season, had somehow convinced one of Africa's greatest exports to make the move to the northwest of England on a free transfer. How did it happen? Well, JJ was desperate to play in the Premier League, and Bolton and Sam Allardyce were the first ones to give him that opportunity. Upon joining, Big Sam released his statement signing from his shackles and afforded Okocha a freedom he may not have been given at one of Europe's top clubs. The results were spectacular.
Even though I'm here in Bolton, even though we are playing to stay in the Premiership, I'm still doing my best to enjoy the game as much as I can.
Even in a debut campaign disrupted by injury issues, the gifted brilliance of Okocha shone through, scoring 7 goals to help Bolton survive the drop. Forming a fine partnership with Yuri Djorkov, the duo were the first of several star names to arrive at the Reebok Stadium, with the likes of Ivan Campo and Fernando Hierro joining later. More than a tangible impact in terms of goals and assists, it was the manner in which Okocha approached the game that ensured his everlasting legacy. He played football like a video game and brought moves that the league had never seen before.
Another one that I found very easy to do is the one I flick over on top of somebody's head.
What, like what you did against Ray Parlour?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Another one that I like to use is if we are leading comfortably.
Yes.
The one I flick behind.
Yeah.
Behind me and then over an opponent's head.
He was as influential as he was entertaining, and after being named captain in his second season, he took Bolton to heights unimaginable considering their current state. From the League Cup final in 2004 and UEFA Cup qualification in 2005, it's no surprise he was voted Bolton's greatest ever player in 2017.
You go back to Jay-Jay Okocha, who was towards the start of the Premier League era, and he was just a beautiful conjurer. And he was one of those who you thought, he understands how lucky he is to be a professional footballer. He played with a smile. Yeah. He was an entertainer. He was a juggler, a conjurer, a dancer. Yeah. You know, the great commentary line on him, of course, wasn't it? Jay-Jay Okocha, so good they named him twice.
He made 145 appearances for Bolton, managing only 24 goal contributions. But if you've been paying attention, you'll know he outplayed his numbers, and you'll know why he is still talked about today.
I never thought I could play for the national team. I never thought I could have a career that lasted 18 years in Europe. You know, if I look back, I always leave my mark wherever I go. I always open doors for the next generation, and that was my mission, you know.